Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing today? It is Workshop Wednesday, and I would just like to say thank you for being here today. My name is David Hunt, and this is Quiet Time Piano's version of Workshop Wednesday, where we talk about the things that impact technology and music. It's kind of like at the junction of technology and music is the capacity for great impact. And so today we have a fire show for you. What? Listen, thank you so much for all those who have come through already, and for those of you who will be on the replay squad. I hope that you can hear me, and I think we're on the right stream today, because last week was awesome, but there were some issues. Hey, technology, it's live. You know, as my shirt says, going live changes lives. And so we're here to talk about the impact of music and medicine, the interaction with technology, and how that has changed in the last few years, and it's even going forward. Listen, we're just going to have a conversation. I'm so delighted to have my guest today, Dr. Mary Medeiros. Listen, we are going to talk about it, and we're going to get it going. I'm not going to talk too much more. I'm just going to say hello. We have Laquita, blind guy, his wife, their life, Ruby, methods, no okra. No okra is on here today. My goodness, what are we doing? Oh man, thank you so much, No Okra, for coming. And Fitness with JC. Yes, thumbs up done. I appreciate that. It's just awesome. And so I'm not gonna keep talking. We should just get to it, right? There are some things that we are going to talk through here. And if you have a question for Mary as we're going along, just drop the question in the chat and we'll definitely be taking that on. But Laquita, blind guy, his wife, says, No Okra is doing a good thing. Of course, No Okra is doing a good thing. That's my guy right there. That's my guy. We are live. For those of you who don't know, No Okra might be related to me at some point. There was a situation where we needed to make a statement about the okra, but that's not going to be the deciding factor today. Miss Ruby, good morning. We are going to get to all the comments. Suzanne Buell, thank you so much for coming through. We're going to talk about the gospel connection a little bit later. Suzanne Buell is going to be having a program on Friday evening at... Oh, I said I would talk about it later. And then I talked about it anyway. Listen, but without further ado, let's really get into it. Right? I'm going to go to one more scene here. And, well, I thought I was going to the other scene. Maybe I should just get to it. All right? So we're still in this space to talk about Quiet Time Piano Project. It's going to be coming out soon. But in order to find out about it and all the details, we need your email. So as we say, give me your email. Oh man, that gets me every time. Just go to davidhunt.link/email and put that in. Just give me your email already. Just do it. Do it already. Okay. That's fine. You know, people have all these different things that they're talking about, but they don't, they say, oh, you get this lead magnet, basically they just want your email. Yes, they're providing value, but they just want your email. So I just decided, might as well just ask for it. Be done. Okay, so let's come back to our main screen. So today we're going to be talking to Mrs. Mary Medeiros, Dr. Mary Medeiros. I was going to read her bio from, when she was a little girl and how she grew up and all this other stuff, but I thought that I would just introduce her as my friend. We met in the fall of 1995. I probably shouldn't have said that. That's a long time. Oh, man, but it's okay because we've been friends for a long time. And so in the fall of 1995, we met on the campus of Atlantic Union College, which is no longer there, but actually the college is still there, but it's closed down as a college. Sad times. But anyway, Mary is a musician. She was studying to be a doctor, always wanted to be a doctor, knew from a little child that she was going to go into medicine. And she got her undergrad in music as a flute major. Woo, flute major. And she's going to play for us today. Okay, I didn't actually ask her to play, but I just did. Oh man, I don't even know if she still has her flute. It's okay. She's still into music in a big way. Went to college, went to medical school out in Loma Linda, California, and came back to Massachusetts and residented at I don't know if that's the term, but I'm just making that stuff up. I was like, I'm not making it up, but residented here in Worcester, Mass, and now has her own practice as an internist, but helping people using a holistic approach to medicine. It's fantastic. We could have a whole show just on that. But for now, we're just going to go into, I know I was going to say take 5 minutes, but I ended up talking more. I am going to bring on stage Mary Medeiros. Doc. All right. How are you doing today?
Hi, David. I'm so happy you introduced me as your friend because that's really, as far as I'm concerned, the most important thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, that made me really
Indeed.
happy.
Oh man, so say hi to the folks, and this is yay what? I don't even know how to say the integrative.
Integrative medicine.
Integrative.
Kinda,
Okay.
kinda.
Holistic medicine.
I
Yeah.
know it's you know what, it's interesting because there are actual definitions nowadays, or there's kind of channels or
Mm-hmm.
for what holistic versus integrative medicine is. I actually don't practice that. I'm just a run-of-the-mill, evidence-based internist doing primary care, but I do um, try to be very open-minded. And
Mm-hmm.
I have patients that I think need a more open approach, and I'd say
Right.
that's probably a bit more accurate
Right.
in the way
So
that I
when I
practice.
when I say holistic, I mean you look at the whole person, not as
Yes.
opposed to being like, you know,
Of
whatever
that practice.
of
Yeah, no,
that practice. Yeah.
that I know what you meant. I just wanted to make sure that that was designated at
Sure.
some
No, that's
level,
fine. I appreciate
but yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
in this space, we are just so happy that you're here. And so I wanted to just say, Mary, Who are you? And I know I gave a little spiel about you before, but just tell us, a little bit of who you are and how you came to be where you are today. And
Yeah, big complex question, but the storyline I think ultimately includes being the daughter of immigrants, Filipino,
mhm, yeah,
who both were physicians themselves, psychiatrists, and
no,
sort of had programmed me to understand. Medicine is the path that you're going to be following.
mm,
And it's funny because I remember very distinctly, going to college, understanding that I was going to pursue medicine eventually,
hmm hmm
and um, sitting with a crew of freshman music majors because these were the people I enjoyed hanging out with,
right.
and helping them with their music theory homework. um, and it was at that moment that I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I can major in music myself, and it'll be my last opportunity to do something I really love.
Oh, so
and,
so
and you know what?
you didn't. Let me just ask this: you didn't come to college with the idea that you were going to study music. You were going to do
No,
like pre med,
I was a
biology,
psychology major.
psychology.
I
Okay,
started off as a psychology major, and
I
then
did not know this.
yeah, no,
Oh
it was
man.
very, it was very transient. I didn't really want to do biology or chemistry, or I'm not a sciencey person at heart. I'm an artist. Um, and this
Okay. All
I'm
right.
jumping around a little bit, but I think
No,
it
no,
was
no.
more of
This totally fine.
a midlife awakening type of realization that I'm an artist through and through. I consider myself an artist stuck in the life of a desk professional.
Okay.
True
A lot of
story.
artists are they end up pursuing other things because they don't see a pathway that would allow them to be creative and use that as a vocation.
Right.
You
Very
know.
well said.
Yeah.
And especially, I don't, I mean, I different parental lineages lead into this, and people will say, oh, it was because of my, you know, Portuguese parents or my Indian parents or my Asian parents, and so I'm the one making the "it's my Asian parents" story that I was programmed to be a doctor.
Nice.
But honestly, it was something that it wasn't something that I had a passion for early on. Eventually, just sort of zipping through. Okay, I went to college. I majored in music. Flute was a medium of performance. Again, not of my own choosing, believe it or
Mm,
not. I started playing the flute in elementary school because my mom she liked the flute, so I picked up the flute because she liked it, and then I wanted to do drums. And
wow.
yeah, no, you're learning things about me. I'm not sure how much of this you actually knew. um, and then in college, I actually distinctly remember, this was a really funny story, and I don't think too many people know about it. So our Dr. Kestner Robertson, bless his soul,
Yes. Yes.
uh, as the leadership of the music department, I had to have this conversation with him. I wanted to change my medium of performance to piano. Um,
And you would have been perfect at it.
no, I wouldn't, but the thing was, the way that the
No, yeah, what I mean
conversation
is you
went,
perfect at it, you would have excelled. Because I heard you
I
play, was it the Gershwin
yes, Rhapsody in Blue. I
Rhapsody in
really
Blue?
loved this. I
Yes.
was playing that from when I was in high school, and
Wow.
I I approached him and I was like, I want to switch to being a piano major, and he was he did the Kessner Robertson thing. He kind of looked at me sideways. Yeah, I don't even. It was. He basically blew it off. He was just like,
Yeah.
"You should stick with flute." And I wasn't sure if the issue was that he had no hope for me as a pianist. Of course, obviously, he had much more expertise in understanding what it takes to be a pianist. But my impression, honestly, was that he felt like, you're so good at flute, you shouldn't stop.
Wow.
And that was, so there was a compliment hidden in there somewhere.
Right.
But that's the thing, is like, not just musically, no, sorry, not just I would say in all dimensions of my life, I've kind of followed everyone's program, someone else's program for most
Yeah.
of my life.
Hmm.
And I would say that you're catching me today at a place where I think I'm finally trying to discover my own way.
That's good. That's good. A lot of people spend a lot of time and money on down paths that they really they don't know. They're just going along with life, and so realization of your worth, realization of your what you're cut out in this world to do is something that's really important to discover, and I'm glad that you're getting that you're figuring it out. I am still figuring it out myself. I mean, yes, and I'm not a young man.
I'm not young either, as you declared how long we've known each other.
It's funny. You know what? I believe that we can talk a little bit more now about um, how the music then. So you're saying that you're an artist that and I know you're an artist because we have a picture that you drew of Ashley when she was
Oh, that's right, when she was a baby.
yes. Yes, that thing. I
Oh,
was just like, you took a picture that we had, and you did it in pencil. I don't. I'm
probably. I think it might have been charcoal, I think.
charcoal. Okay, yeah, that thing was amazing. I was trying to look for it to like
Oh,
show it. It
no.
was like, oh man, so open. So you were interested in percussion. You played the piano, and you still play the piano very well. In fact, during the pandemic, you were sort of instrumental in helping me figure out, okay, I could do this thing because you posted some some songs, like "We Are the Champion." I remember that one
Yeah, yeah,
distinctly.
for the graduates.
For the graduates, yeah, no, so that was just amazing. And so wanted to say, and I said there are some people in the chat. Robert is like, yo, my people. Hey, Robert Kennedy, we actually used some of your words earlier. Your stuff is your story, and your story deserves a stage. That's one of the sayings that Robert is talking about. Anyway, but we
Look at all these AUC folks. Hey.
yes,
Oh my
indeed.
goodness. I see Bobby. I see Albert. Shoot. I see a
Albert.
bunch of names that
Oh, no,
aren't names. So
no,
I don't know who's behind them. But
this is not Albert that we know. This is Albert. I met him here during the pandemic. We've never been in person, but
oh,
we've been on several different Zoom screens and classes and different things. So Albert is one of the faithful few that come through. We have about 13 people right now with us. And if you have a question for Mary, we were talking about the impact of music and medicine, and technology is going to make its way in there because technology is in everything, right?
I can if I could just start riffing on that because it's
Sure.
this is a really fun thing for me. So just following the storyline of trying to self-discover, and actually, so I'm going to carry this from the who are you to how is music impactful in my life and in medicine and the way that I practice. So, one thing that's actually extremely instrumental in my identity is the loss of my brother. And so,
Mm,
just in 2015, my only sibling took his own life. And that
yeah.
obviously is one of those things that will define you forever
Sure.
after.
Sure.
Which it does. And as a primary care physician, since then, um, it has become sort of a, a penchant of mine to
Yeah.
understand depression.
Yeah.
And just obviously there's a public health impact there, all the more now because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I think the new pandemic is anxiety and depression,
Mm,
which is the perfect segue into where does music play a role.
yeah.
So for me, music is much bigger than a song or having something to listen to that is relatable,
Yeah.
or it's bigger than the lyrics, it's bigger than the the artist. Music is the overlay of waveforms that actually awaken um, like inter- internal waveforms in the neuropsyche of humans.
Come on, Mary. Tell me more.
So um, basically, if when you stop and think about the physics behind music, because that's to me, I'm a geek to the nth degree, Dave. My two I've declared for myself. So music and art are not my favorite hobbies. My favorite hobbies are metaphysics and neuroscience.
Okay.
And um, so if you take a single tone, a pure tone, and this is something I learned from you, and
Mm-hmm.
that tone actually consists of waveforms that will, if amplified, can actually create additional waveforms over
Mm-hmm.
them. So the first, and which are known as harmonics, and when you lay harmonics on one another, what you're doing is creating, there's actually a chord
Mm-hmm.
within that single tone.
Yeah.
And when you actually build a chord, what you're doing is amplifying the harmonics of the initial tone, or you're contrasting those initial harmonics, and that superimposes on the way waveforms travel along
The
the
neural.
neurologic system
Yeah.
of anybody. It's not just humans. So of anything. So that's why music can impact. There are studies on how music impacts other organisms,
Yeah.
and so any song that is impactful for an individual um, plays itself out because of the echoes that it creates inside your entire neurologic system. I don't like to limit it to the brain
No.
because honestly, most of what we feel and experience happens outside of the cranium. It
Mm-hmm.
travels down the autonomic nervous system,
Yeah.
and the sympathetic, parasympathetic.
Yep.
That's where the emotions actually play out.
Man.
Um,
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. There was a lot in there. And I just saying, so like you hear a tone, and that tone can be a trigger of a memory, or you hear a progression, it's like and that can even create emotional response in
so there's a question. What are my thoughts on binaural beats or the musical math of classical music when it comes to neurology? That's a great
okay,
question. It's
Natasha.
also very specific. So I'm not familiar with the term binaural beats, but music and math are the same thing, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion.
Oh yeah.
Music is audible math, and the thing is, anytime you take any type of waveform, if it's pure and perfectly repeatable, then by kind of in cosplaying it with other waveforms, then that creates new waveforms. And so that's, in a sense, that's those are calculations, those are addition, multiplication. You can integrate um, hyperbole and exponential multiplication, that all that stuff. But the point is that when
Yes.
you do those calculations in the audible waveform sense, then it creates a new entity. And the way that we put things together in that sense as humans is by creating songs. So
Yeah.
a tone consists of waveforms, but also a rhythm is in itself a waveform. Sound on, sound off, sound on, sound off.
Yeah.
That's a beat. So boom, boom, boom. That's one type of waveform. And then you've got the harmonies, which are those chords that overlay on each other and create
Yeah.
those, emotional responses based on how the harmonics interplay.
Right.
And if you've got those harmonies on top of your beats, that actually elicits a response from the listener. And
Wow.
that it may be a positive one, it might be a negative one, depending, but it's so coming back to just my identity personally. I've developed somewhat of a sick obsession with the tritone.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
it's that's literally as far apart as two tones can get
Can get.
in relation with each other. But there's a lot of neurologic response that sort of relates to it, and it plays out a certain way emotionally.
Yeah.
It's called the devil's interval,
Yeah.
because of
They
that
did
lack of relationship.
correct. So, for example, if you have these two notes, they are considered to be two times the frequency. For example, this. Could you
If you
hear
have
it?
this length, you have that length, you cut it exactly
Cut
in
it in
half,
half.
and then
Right.
the strongest waveform of the half is the octave
Is the
of the
octave? Yeah.
original,
Original frequency. Sure.
original frequency.
Um.
So you keep cutting it. If you keep halving, then obviously you're going to continue to build what starts out as a major chord.
Right.
But you actually, I don't know how many divisions it would take to reach the tritone, but it probably is. It's probably an imperfect number, to be honest. It's probably an
Correct. Yeah.
irrational number like pi.
Yeah. It keeps going, right? So this is what a tritone sounds like, and I don't have my. Do I have my overhead shot? Let's see. I don't even know if it'll show up in the shot. Wait, hold on one second. Let me just. Okay, it's also upside down. I wasn't really prepared to go with the overhead shot today, but the tritone from like F to B and then back to C, or
It begs for resolution.
it begs for resolution. Yes, it does. I don't know. It's just something that in, especially in terms of like jazz, you would see it, or gospel utilizes those a little bit more. And there are other forms that do it as well. You don't hear as much of it in contemporary pop or other forms of music, soft rock kind of a vibes.
So the thing is, it appears in
It appears.
in more angsty music.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's when I talk about how I've kind of the way I've traveled over the course of my life and trying to discover at this stage. I'm finding myself residing in those forms of music more. And in terms of medicine, there's a lot of, like I said, anxiety and depression that's starting to emerge. I really find that at least half, probably more, like 2/3 or 3/4 of the clinical entities that I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis as a primary care physician for adults is has an underlying drive through anxiety and depression. And so being able to resonate with what people are going through, I think helps to reach them where they or we are at, and then encourage resolution.
Yeah. So I see you have some stuff on the wall. And I told you beforehand, it's like, yo, let's see. There is, that looks like a Yamaha on over your left shoulder.
I've got a Yamaha, and this is a Squire Bullet that I've had
Yep.
since seventh grade. That over there is an Ibanez.
Ibanez. Okay.
It's nice and narrow, but my
Yeah.
favorite guitar is upstairs. It's a Taylor Mini. It's a limited
Ah,
edition,
GS
Zach
Mini.
Brown.
Koa?
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
that?
Do you say is it Koa or what's the wood on there?
You know what? I'm honestly not sure. It's a classic Taylor Mini, so if that's how Taylors are
Okay.
built, then, but it's really cool. It's got amazing art on it, and it was a
Yeah.
birthday Christmas gift. And,
Christmas gift.
um,
Did you
but it's
just say
small
birth?
because I'm a small person. I'm not sure how well the camera can portray that, but so my arm only goes but so far around, and this guitar is just too big for me.
Just too big.
That one's a little bit narrower, which is better. But the Taylor Mini is my joint.
The GS Mini is awesome. It's awesome. So I wanted to ask you then, how have you like personally utilized the music that you because you're not just a regurgitator of music, you're also a writer of music. How is that? And we talked about songwriting last week with Karosha, but how has writing helped you, like even coming
It's
from
life
then and
essential to
life
me at this
essential,
point.
life essential.
Now, I'm going to venture to guess that I think you have a very Christian viewership here,
Hmm.
and so my music is probably not fit for most of you. I think it would be. It's jarring and shocking.
That's
It's where I
okay.
put my. It's where I
That's
put my
okay.
my pain.
Listen, sometimes it's like we all have pain. We all have sorrow. So and we don't always just listen to Christian music. There's music is music. So if your story is and your music is therapeutic for you, it could be therapeutic for someone else. So that's okay. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I've been very shy about sharing. But Dave, over the course of the pandemic, I've written close. Well, if you consider the present day still, I would say since August 2020, I've written close to 3 dozen songs.
That's amazing. That's
A
amazing.
lot of it is rap.
Yeah.
And then some of it is just kind of just raw screaming. But it's yeah. There's a message. I'm always trying to create a message. I mean, this is one of those scenarios like where you can't. It doesn't make any sense to describe it. It's probably better to just hear it.
Better to
But it's
just hear it.
I find it. This is where technology comes in because I'm a tech idiot and I'm very frustrated and disappointed that I can't create tracks. I've done some, and maybe I'll send you some. But I don't really have a knowledge of technology to be able to put all the music out in recording. Mostly because I don't have a good sound stage. Like there's no silent place where
Oh,
I
in the
can like
house,
lay
see if
down
you can.
vocals and feel confident that it's actually going to come out clean. But
Well, so
uh
there's something you can do. It depends on the microphone that you have. If you're just using the microphone in like the MacBook, like Keith's MacBook, um, or another, or even on your PC, it's gonna pick up a lot of the room sound. But so for me, I'm using what is called a dynamic mic, like the mic you'd use to sing at a program or the Shure SM58. Those are dynamic mics that cut all the other sound, but only picks up what's around here.
yeah,
You
no,
follow what I'm
your
saying?
sound like your voice sounds really clear. It's cool.
Yeah.
um
So
Oh,
using a
I've got somebody
dynamic,
who wants to hear me spit. I love it. That's so
Jonathan, I was
exciting.
gonna,
But wait, there were some questions above that.
yeah.
Um, Angsty tritone. Somebody was interested. I love that. Do I use music within my practice? That's a really great question. I have a very special patient that
Mm-hmm.
I'm dealing with currently who has deeply embedded psychiatric issues, and The thing is, I happen to have very similar music taste with this person, and
Yeah.
in some ways he communicates in song, in the sense that he'll have an emotion, and then he'll send me like a video link of,
Yeah.
because some of my
Yeah.
patients I text back and forth with, and
Yeah.
he'll text me these YouTube links of a song, and it's very clear what he's trying to communicate just from the song without any
Mm-hmm.
words. So
Yeah.
there are certain songs, because I can tell what he'll resonate with, that we'll just back and forth, we'll actually just communicate with songs. And believe it or not, that person, he was a track writer when he was in his teens, and he created these amazing tracks. I actually wrote lyrics to one of his tracks.
Wow. That's
um
amazing.
and so that's been, I think, mutually therapeutic.
That's good. That's
um,
good. So,
but that's a
Synovia's
very
question.
individual case. I don't do that with all my patients.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Here's another one. Dr. Medeiros, does music have the power of healing?
Of course. I mean, that's a vague question, because it's like, does food have the power of healing? So the answer is absolutely, but it also has the power to destroy.
Yeah.
So it music is an entity, and it can be used for good or for evil. So
Right.
you know, it's really a question of how you use it.
Yeah, that's good. So, if you hear music that makes your toes start to tap, that's the beginning of good medicine for the soul. That's true, Albert. I would want to also say the G stands for grandpa. That's uh, G
My
Albert.
son is here. Can you come here and say hi? My son is about to go to school. This is
Oh,
one of my most favorite humans on the entire face of the planet.
big
There he
one.
is.
Yay.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Thank you.
I was going to get to that. It's one of the reasons why I had you here
Wait a
today.
minute. So, good luck in the MCAS today, honey. Uh, Thank you. I love you. Isn't he
Oh,
handsome?
that's awesome. Yep. Yep. So good. So it's like, G. Albert is like, spit. Jonathan, so glad that you are here. I was going to do some greetings, general greetings of everyone a little bit later, as we get into the final few minutes. But yeah, so
Great
today
kid.
is your birthday, and you're just like, what, 25? So
Yeah. Oh, I did stop counting after 25.
you stuck out. There you go. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I didn't mean to click that up. It's like, oh man, thank you, Jonathan. I knew this from long time. It's just a really great spirit. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank
You
you.
know,
Please call me Mary.
she just called me Medeiros. She's like, Dr. Medeiros. That's, well, your parents are not Medeiros as last name, but
No,
that's okay.
nah, it's
Are they still practicing or they're retired?
no, they're both retired.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. They still live in upstate.
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. That's good. You guys have a
Thank you
great
for the birthday
family,
wishes.
and you know, in just being here, Barry, you have had an impact on me. Just talking about the waves of the note, the tone, and the harmonic um what's it, harmonic series, and how that relates to forming a chord and putting it all together, and the drums. I know you have some drums close by. um
Yeah, they're really
nice.
primitive electronic drum set.
Right, those are the best because they can bang away and you don't disturb the rest of the
Yeah,
house.
no, it's helpful for that
Yeah.
for sure. I'm trying to get it there. The interesting thing is that it's actually a little small and constrained.
Yeah.
So in order to really get what you need out, you need to be able to completely move your arms around. And I just have it in a tiny space over here, but
Yeah.
uh,
That's good.
but it can be
So
therapeutic.
no, was whose drum set is that? Is that yours?
I mean, I insisted on buying it because, but I mean, it's ours. We bought it because the kids were having, we were going to have the kids do drum lessons. So both of my kids did drum lessons for a certain amount of time,
Yeah.
and then the pandemic, we just it just music lessons fell apart a little bit. But we're
Yeah,
all
for
we're all rediscovering our niches.
nice. Okay, that's good. That's good. Well, I know today is your birthday. So somewhere along the line I knew we would be singing it. So I said, I'll do that. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mary. Happy birthday to
Woo! Tritone. Yes.
Yeah, I
Thank
thought it. You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
I could have done. That's awesome. So yeah, so thank you for coming through today and just giving us some insight into music and medicine and a little bit of the technology as well. Um, I just wanted to touch on the technology piece just for a little bit. So a lot of um, there are programs, free programs that you can use. The Mac has one called GarageBand.
I use GarageBand. I've
Yeah.
laid out tracks on GarageBand.
Okay.
I have a lot of frustrations with some of the like minute limitations, but I've actually laid out some tracks I really enjoy and that I do have my songs fully recorded. They're not great quality in the vocals, but that one I've done.
Okay. Sweet. So it is GarageBand utilizing the passion, utilizing even some of the pain that you've experienced and creating music that helps you navigate that. That's a great thing. And so I have really been impacted by your music as well as just by your spirit and how you approach medicine and everything else. So we want to just say thank you for that. And I don't know if there are any other questions that may have popped up in the chat for Mary. I wanted to just run back through and say aloha to Laquita, one of my moderators, who also is a content creator. Her Laquita is the one that's typing, but her husband Corey is the blind guy. She is the wife, and their life is what they talk about during the. I've met them during the pandemic. They're down in Virginia, and they're sharing their story. You share your content mostly in blogs. I think we might have talked about it. So let's talk about that for a little bit, because that's technology there too.
Yeah, I have a blog. I have a website. So I own my own practice, Thrive Adult Primary Care. And so my website is thriveapc.org. And then there's a blog. So it's thriveapc.org/blog. And I have put some links on there with me trying to talk at the YouTube live camera. So I've done a few live streams. I do them mostly when I trust nobody is watching because I'm still practicing. I kind of stink at talking to a camera. For
You're
what
doing
it's worth,
fine. You are doing fine.
it's because I'm having a conversation with you. It's much easier to talk to a person,
Yeah,
especially a person I love so much.
that's
but
awesome. Thank you.
yeah, no, I don't know if you're gonna let me because I don't know if there's time. There are a few people requesting that I spit a verse, which will be extremely fun. But I
Yep.
did post a rap on that. Like there's a video of me rapping on one of those vlogs, and there's another one of me just singing a cappella one of my originals. They're all originals. I don't I do open mics from time to time, but
I think I
you know
I
it.
I looked at the anatomic mind body connection.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I get really I get esoteric, and it's sometimes it's I'm not really sure whether I'm connecting with an audience. That's why it's helpful to at least talk with a person, because I'm like,
hmm
these are things that go on in my brain. I really don't know if they'll connect with anybody else, or if I'm just way out there.
the thing about live streaming, and also for like even doing content like this, is that you never know who's gonna impact. But if you keep it in, you will only impact yourself. See?
Yeah, no,
So
I
so
know.
so
I
putting
know.
it out there has the capacity, as I say, at the junction of technology and music. I'm doing this piano stuff. I'm playing, and now we're having these interviews and talking to other creators, and in their own sphere, and it's helping to share and shed some light on the story. So you put it out, then it has the capacity to create impact in someone else's life.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So thriveapc.org/blog. I'm going to post that into the shot, and it's not going to be no okra this time. Oh man. So as if you didn't know, I am no okra. So that's one of the questions we ask all the guests is like, okra or no okra? Yes.
No.
Yes,
No, I've been an
Vicky.
okra hater all my entire life. That's great. That's a good one.
Oh man, that's good. That's good. I'm like, and I usually try not to.
Also, no Marmite.
Oh no, no. Listen,
I
those
love you
fighting
though. I
words.
love you today, but no Marmite.
No, it's Vegemite for those of you who are from Australia. But no, this is thriveapc.blog. We could probably take a quick look at that. I have a scene with that in it. Is that the Firefox scene? Yes. Oh, that's just me. Wait a minute.
No,
Oh no.
that's my blog. So
Yeah,
what's showing on the screen right there is this one of those posts, A Moment for Art. I actually sing one of my originals on there. It's just a cappella. And that's Doctor Strange's window. I actually have that
Yep.
emblem on the door of my office.
Nice. That's awesome.
Oh shoot, you're actually gonna play it? No. There's a lot of talking. There's like a minute, and then there's like more than a minute of talking.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
Well, you say you guys can check. This was just last month, February 16th. Nice. It's
yeah. No,
good.
I got involved in a couple other
Projects, which is fine.
projects.
Yep.
Yeah, and so it's but I'm inspired. I'll have to come back to it.
That's good. So vacating. Listen, this is creation. This is beautiful. This is awesome. And there are a lot of snap. I have this going here, and I don't have you on the screen. There we go. I thought I had that screen share with both of us on it, and I can't find the scene. Like, urgh.
I rebuke the okra. Oh snap! I'm falling off my chair. Me too. Me too. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but no okra.
yeah, no, this is good. This is good. Who said to rebuke the okra?
Jonathan.
Jonathan. Mrs. Mitchell, good morning to you. Yes. It's okay, Queen. Now so sing that a cappella song then, if you or drop a bar or two.
Let's see. I dare you to dare me to pick up a random topic and not drop some lyrical genius on top of it. I know because I'm built like a spoiled violinist. Hip hop just. Okay, I'm sorry. I got nervous. I knew this was gonna happen.
No, it's fine.
It's gonna happen.
No,
Hip hop's a script I shouldn't be able to flip like a gymnast. Yeah, I grabbed up inspiration from Hamilton and 8 Mile, but watch me double backflip through like a. Oh my God, this is not good. I'm gonna do that on my blog. Okay, that one's a little
Okay.
too fast. Um, but I'm much better with the tracks too. The tracks help to
That's
drive
okay.
me.
Yeah, no, so
Um,
you hear the beat and the beat gives you inspiration. I get it.
let me.
Like
Okay,
totally.
I've got one. This is much slower. I'll just do a part of it, but I really appreciate this because I really love to do this. Wake up. It's time to shake up the stakes and break the monotony. Apology accepted, but it's time for a new perspective. We done elected ourselves into a frontal lobotomy. No one knows no more who we once were or who we gotta be. The only thing we know is saying no to those we don't know and blowing up the spot of anyone not of our own scope. No hope on a downhill slippery slope. The mystery joke is that history's got us yoked into the errors of countless bygone eras. Why bother learning anymore? Well, we're just churning out enemigos from all frères, turning heroes into terrors. Those whom we used to salute now scare us. And all that openness we used to have for diversity has been abused till we misuse the skin tones of our friends to reverse the league we align with and resign to justify stepping on the socio-economically undermined, saying that they need to line up or sign up to be crucified. I'll stop there. It goes on. The entire verse is
Yo, that's fire. That is fire. Yo,
thank
Mary.
you.
Wow. I didn't know. But
I
now
didn't
I
either.
do.
I didn't either. I watched Hamilton last year, and then a month afterwards, I was just like, brrrr, and it just started coming out. That song I was just doing, "Wake Up," is
Yep.
like 8 minutes long.
Wow.
It's
That's
just
good.
8 minutes of solid lyrics, no
Nice.
hook.
That's good. He's like, spit, spit.
I have a lot of thoughts.
I rebuke the okra hate. Oh, you rebuke the okra hate. That's funny. I ate okra yesterday. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. Oh, man. Nice. So, Laquita and Corey, Blind Guy, his wife, their life, they have a show today. They're having a program today at 11:15. It's on YouTube. Check it out if you have to. That's for everybody. There's a scripture on okra that I can't find right now. Something about blasphemy. Listen, you need to stop. Natasha Vincent, your cadence giving me some Eminem vibes.
Oh my goodness! Thank you
Wow.
so much for that.
Yeah.
I worship Eminem a little too much. I was very happy at the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yes, that was amazing. Listen, that's good. It's like, all right, she got bars, you see.
Thank you.
Nice. That's good. The doc is in.
You guys are kind. I appreciate this very much.
No.
And thank you
This
for
is not
letting me do
kind.
that because
Oh,
most of that, like I said, Dave, I'm shy. Most of that is hidden. I just do it in my own space.
the world
And
needs to know. I'm just saying. So basically, I'm going to encourage you to keep going. Why? Because when you share, even if it's from something that inspires you or was painful and you using it as a mechanism to talk about it, or even if it's something that hits you a certain way, when you share, it becomes that yes, I was thinking that way and I was
yeah.
feeling that way, and this is the resolution, and that helps
It's
people
about
to
the
identify.
waveforms. The
Yeah.
waveforms can actually connect, and that's impactful. I'm
Mm,
trying. That's
yeah.
check out my blog, people. I'll put more posts on it. And
Yeah.
thank you very much for the edification.
Yeah, you're
That was really,
welcome.
I appreciate
Oh
that.
man, so thank you so much for that, Mary. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's actually serendipity, I guess. Maybe I don't know what this today. It's just like, oh snap! It's Women's International Month, so the last two guests that I had on were women. I was just like, oh no, Dave, you can't go out the month like this. So I said, let's get some people here to talk about their life, talk about their journey, and how the technology and the music come together to create impact. And what you
I love what you're
shared,
doing, and this is a great topic. I mean, music and technology is definitely you're spot on. That's the way to change the world right now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah, we
agree.
definitely could do that. And you know what? Different people have different gifts, and you have a gift. And so I'm glad that you were able to share it with us today, as well as give us an opportunity to say thank you and happy birthday for all that you
Thank
have
you.
done. Folks, wow, that's it. Thank you, Mary. I'm just going to put you backstage for a minute and we'll go back to. Oh, that's not the one. This is, this is the one I wanted. Folks, wow. Man, oh man, oh man. That is amazing. Thank you, Mary, for sharing so much of your gift and your story with us today and the impact. The impact in me. I'm like, wait, what? Mary got it like that? Yo, fire, fire, fire. It has been real. It has been good. It has been real good. And for those of you on the replay, thank you so much. We didn't get to go through and acknowledge all of the comments, but we thank you for your questions and for being here and for making a difference in our life. We are going to be back on Friday. It's Freeform Friday. That way you get to set the stage for the entire show. The songs you suggest, hopefully they're not copywritten, will be, or in the public domain, will be the ones that we will play and talk about it. So grateful that you're here. We couldn't do this show without you because you are the MLB crew. What are we talking about? MLB crew? The MLB crew is you because we're using our hands, our voice, and our heart powered by love to make life better. MLB. Make life better for someone else too, and also for you. It's been real. It's been good. It's been real good. But that's a wrap. You're going to put the ribbon on it. The ribbon on it. Put a ribbon on it. Put a ribbon on it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see you in the next video. Take care, y'all.